Yay! My hair is sliding. Of course, as soon as I hit like play or go live, I'm like, why does my head look crooked? Because my hair is crooked. Okay, this is so fun. I don't even remember the last time. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. The last time I went live in this group, like, if you've been in this group since its, you know, birth, I used to go live all the time. This group was the place that I got all of my clients, every single one of my clients for the first 2 years of my business came from this group. I was the queen of groups. I taught thousands of people how to grow and monetize a Facebook group organically. So, like, we're not paying ads to get people into our group, we're just showing up and people are joining our groups. Um, and then, as you know, if you did that class and you had a group, Facebook started deprioritizing groups and started prioritizing profiles. That was like 2 years ago, where, hi, Heather, where the creator mode came out on personal profiles, and I turned that on and I love it. Um, I don't really have anything else to say about that. If you have questions about creator mode, ask me. But anyway, when they did that, they started to deprioritize the visibility of groups and were really pushing personal profiles. And so, of course, naturally, since, you're getting more views somewhere else, you're going to not pay as much attention to the things that aren't working anymore. And so I've tried many times to revive this space. And it was just like, it was really difficult because Facebook just wouldn't show it. And even when we started using the @everyone tag, people would get really mad at you for using the tag and they'd bitch and complain and tell you off, and like leave the group. And then Facebook started even like deprioritizing that tag, which is so frustrating because like it would like drip it out. And so I would get notified that other people had tagged me in their groups in things like days later. And so I was like, what is even the point of the tag? Like, you're already not showing our audiences our stuff, and now we're tagging them and you're still not showing them for days. Like, this just is not user friendly. Um, but obviously, I never close the group. I still pour into the group, just not in the same way that I used to. And I thought, as I'm doing these Ask Bees, so this is the third one. 2 weeks ago, I did it on my personal page. Last week, I was away for my family vacation, which was amazing. It was my birthday, and I don't know how, but I turned 28 again, and it's been a few times that that's happened. Um, we turned it into a thread, and I posted it on my personal page, and I posted it here, and I tagged. And so lots of people were really excited to do it here. So I was like, I really want to bring the group back to life. I actually decided yesterday with my team that my Instagram is going on the back burner. It's never been my place. Facebook has always been my place, the place where most people follow me. I mean, there's 4,300 people here, there's 9,300 people on my profile, less than 1,000 people. I think it's like 858 when I checked this morning of those people overlap. So there's literally thousands of people on both sides who are not following me in both spots. And then my business page has like 33 or 3,400 people, and like Instagram has like 1,100 people. And it's just never been my place. Facebook has just always been my place. So I said to my team, like, I really want to get my group like bumping because I had a 98% engagement rate before Facebook started deprioritizing. And I'll just say that I think Facebook is so stupid to not prioritize groups. It's the only platform that is like, for the fun of it, that has the capability of creating communities. And it used to be the thing that popped off, and now they're like, meh. So I keep saying that I hope that they will revive groups. I think that as creator mode profiles continue to get the ability to run ads, that is just the writing on the wall that Facebook is going to start hiding our stuff the same way it does with our business pages. Like, They literally hold our visibility hostage for money. Like, oh, you posted this thing? It's so great. Did you know that for $1.57 a day, you could reach like 1,682 people? Like, oh, that's so specific. Like they're not going to give that to you for free. They want you to pay for it. And since we're seeing creator mode personal pages starting to get the ability to run ads, I see that as a huge sign that they're going to start holding our hostage visibility. And because they've let us get massive visibility over the last 2 years, people are going to pay. People are going to pay to run the ads because they're not going to like to like suddenly not have that visibility because for some reason we've tied our visibility, our clients, how much money is in our bank account to our self-worth. And for a lot of people who are running businesses, um they get that, you get that dopamine hit when someone like likes or comments or starts following you and you're like, "Ooh, yeah, everything's working," which I have a lot to say about that because that is not the stuff that gets you paid, but it's the stuff that a lot of people focus their efforts on thinking that it's going to get them paid, but they get those dopamine hits. So they're just like, yay. And it's like, no, yes, but getting comments is not the thing. And so I think people are going to start moving back into Facebook groups when that happens because it's always been the place that you could get free organic reach. So, a couple of things that are going to be changing in here. I'm probably going to move Ask Bees into here. They're going to be on Wednesdays. They're right now for the rest of the summer, but I'm really feeling it on my heart to continue into the fall. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be live for 1 hour every morning, Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Eastern. And you can come into the comments just like Heather's doing and ask me absolutely anything. And I will do my best to answer your questions, give you support, give you some guidance, give you my thoughts. A third person perspective can do a lot for a lot of people. And so you can ask me absolutely anything. Nothing is off the table. Good morning. The other thing, last year I ran content camp. And I know Heather did content camp and a bunch of my clients did content camp and it was amazing. There was like 40 people did content camp last year and it was a 2-week content creation challenge. I have a workbook that is 105 pages that I wrote. It's amazing. And like we put everyone in a Facebook group and they just started running. It was only $47. Every day we did accountability and they just like ran and showed up massively. And some of these girls were getting insane results. I shared it in an email yesterday or the day before. Maybe it was Monday's email or what? No, it must have been the email I wrote yesterday. Anyway, it doesn't matter what email it was. Like my client V had a 360% increase in attendance in the workshop that she had hosted. Multiple ladies had people enroll into their courses and their programs and their memberships. Some of them even got their very first client from it. Many of them were also hosting events, which is something I strongly encouraged during the 2-week period. And like they had a huge increase in enrollment. So it was just so much fun. And so I decided that I'm going to host content camp in here starting August 1st. So everyone is going to get the accountability side of things, but you're probably going to want the book. You don't have to have the book if you just want accountability to show up. But in the workbook, I talk about all the different types of content from reels to carousels to stories to long form, short form, going live, all of the things, hosting events. And I explain exactly how I teach it in the 10K formula, which is my annual membership to help you create consistent 10K months. And so, like I said, it's like 105 pages long. It really helps you like walk through in detail what you want to do with your content, what your goal is for the couple of weeks that we're together, and all sorts of things like that. So I'm actually in the process of editing that workbook right now. So anyone can buy it anytime and do it. But like I said, starting August 1st, instead of doing a pop-up group for it, we're going to do it right here, which I'm really excited about. And I hope everyone has a good time with it. And that's it for now. I have a couple new offers. I'll share about them later. I have a couple of new one-on-one offers that I just really feel pressed upon and have felt pressed upon for a few weeks now. Just kind of like change things up and give a couple of different price points for people just because the economy is so weird. And I've always been someone who feels strongly about helping people more than making a bunch of money. So I've got a few new things, but I'll talk about that later. I'm not here to talk about myself. I'm here to talk about you. So Heather says she's excited to be here and learn more about groups, and that's what her questions were about. Fantastic. I'm wondering about how to offer more value inside of my groups that sell more effectively. I love this. You have a couple of questions, so I'm gonna just like give you my thoughts as I read through. Okay. When I was teaching about groups, something that I recommended at the time, and it doesn't really matter, but if you are like crunched for time, like I know I create a lot of content. Many of my clients are like, wow, I would love to work with you, but how much you show up scares me, and I'm afraid you're going to make me show up that much too. Like, I don't have as much to say as you do. I show up like 5 to 7 times a day. And I did show up 5 to 7 times a day, at least in this group. There was one day I posted like 14 times in one day. And that's not all like long form, like copywriting style content. Like, I like to put out like a one-liner. I like to ask questions. And so like my strongest advice, like even outside of your group, just on your social media, is like starting your day asking engagement questions is a really great strategy and tactic for like getting your engagement up, because something like that is going to like ride throughout the day, whereas people pop on and the time zones change and people are waking up and things like that. They're going to see it when people are commenting. It's going to boost that in the algorithm. And when we're thinking of the algorithm, my favorite way to kind of describe the algorithm is like a win-lose points system, points-based game. So like when you're putting things out that gets people to engage with you, commenting, liking, sharing, etc., the algorithm is going, oh, this is good. This is good content. People really like this person. And so like you win points in the system, in the game, in the algorithm. So it's telling itself, oh, when she posts stuff like this, people really like it. So then the next time you post, you have a higher chance of the people that just commented and engaged with you of seeing your second post, because the algorithm's going, all right, she's got points in the game. Let's show the next thing that she's done to the people. And if the people continue to engage, that's going to keep going up. You're going to be getting points in the game and getting more visibility, right? It reaches more people, it starts bleeding out and, reaching out. If the second thing you post is something that's not engaging, so engagement questions, one-liners, pictures of your kids, pictures of your pets, those are engaging things. A piece of content that is copy, so content and copy are not the same. It's kind of like how like all thumbs are fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs. All copy is content, not all content is copy. Copy is only selling. Like copywriting is the words that we are using to sell something. Because our copy is usually giving them a completely different call to action. And it's not engage with me, look at how cute my kids and my puppies are. It's go to this link or send me a message. The engagement's going to go way down. So now the algorithm's going, well, we showed a bunch of people, but they didn't like it, aka they didn't engage with it. So now she's going to lose some points in the algorithm. So the next thing you post after that is going to be like a lukewarm thing. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So we're constantly kind of playing this game of like winning and losing points. I'm going to post something that's going to get me a lot of points, and then I'm going to post something that I know for sure is going to get me no points, which is why when people get into like a launch, they freak out because they're not getting any like views. Their visibility is like tanking every time they post. It's getting worse and worse. They're like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? You are not engaging with people anymore. You are not communicating with your audience anymore. The algorithm is taking you as just talking at them. And so it's not showing them because your call to action is completely different. It's go over there, go click this link, go talk to me here. People are going to do exactly what you tell them to do. So when we're in a launch and we're like, oh my goodness, like I got to sell this, I got to post about this, I got to give them my link every chance I can get, we forget to still be social on social media. And so what I often see is people drive their visibility into the ground because they're so panicked. They're just like white knuckling, and they think that the only answer is I just have to post more, and invite them more and share my link more. Nope, you got to take one step back and engage with humans again. One step back and engage with humans again, and then post again about your thing. But, this is kind of what happens. So something that's really fun about groups is you can see analytics, which is what I also really love about creator mode on my personal profile. I like analytics. As a business coach, I'm going to tell you right now, don't look. I remember doing a group program that I had done like 3 years ago. Don't look, okay? It's only going to make you feel bad. And I had someone give me shit. She was like, you're the worst business coach I've ever seen. I can't believe you just told all of these women not to look at their data. And I was like, okay, I can tell you're neurotypical. Like most of my clients are neurodivergent. And then when we look at the data, we immediately start making it mean things about ourselves. We start applying value to the numbers that we're seeing. And we use that information to make ourselves feel badly. And there's absolutely no need for any of that. So like, yes, it's great to have. I like to peek once in a while, but don't get caught up in it. Don't get focused on it because it doesn't mean anything about anything. All that to say, I do enjoy looking at some of the insights and the analytics to go, well, when is my group most active? And like I said, I just met with my team yesterday and they were like, you know what's super weird? Your most active day is Sunday. What? What a weird day. What a completely strange day for my group, this space right here, to be the most active. But it is. So when we can figure out and know and see when our group is most active, and you can even look at hourly, I would time my content. And like I did that at the beginning. I stopped doing that because I was just like, do you know what? It doesn't really matter that much. But I would time my content. I'd be like, oh, most of my audience is online and hanging out kind of in and around my group Wednesdays at 2. I'm going to post a piece of copy in my group Wednesdays at 2. Remembering that as people come and go from your group and as people engage with you, those numbers change every single day. Every 24 hours they change. So in sharing that I was going to go live in here today, I shared it to my email. I shared it on my Facebook a couple of times. I shared it on my Instagram stories because I really like Instagram for stories and reels more than any other platform, and like cross-posted to Facebook. I saw that I had 189 or 190 new members in the last like 2 days. So I was like, oh, this is so much fun. Like, I love to see that. Like, these are just like fun things to know and to have. And like, as you continue to grow and make your offers, like, we like to know who's coming, who's going. We like to know what they like, and understanding that that's going to keep throwing things off on us. But like, it gets to be fun. Like, it gets to be an enclosed place for you to share openly and raw. Like, I shared a lot in here as we were going through our miscarriages and things like that. Like, I was really open in here And when Facebook's kind of, like I said, deprioritized groups and we moved to personal pages, I'm pretty raw over there too. Um, so with respect to like giving more value, like remember that everything that you say is valuable. Like people tend to like draw a line in the sand and go, um, there's value and then there's selling, and those are completely different things. They're not. They're identical things. Everything that you say is valuable, and when you're selling, it's equally as valuable, if not more valuable, than anything else that you say. Because when you are selling, you are giving people a solution to their problems, and that is extremely valuable to people. So, like, I always try to kind of remove that kind of thinking from people when they're like, oh, well, like I got to give value and I got to sell. They're the same thing. Selling is even more valuable. Um, so like I said, I was doing engagement questions in the morning to like kind of ride that wave, and then like telling stories, being a person, like 99% of us are personal brands. So who you are is the brand. So letting people see you, letting people see what's going on with you. Like I know you're getting ready to move in like a week. Letting people see that and see what's going on with you and just like sharing with you. Um Using the at everyone tag, going live. Like I said at the beginning, I used to go live at least 3 times a week in here when I first started the group. So I started the group October 2019. I went live at least 3 times a week just teaching. And every Friday for like a year, I did free coaching Friday on Friday night. And I like built that habit with the people here. Like every Friday night, I'm going to be live at, I think it was like 8 p.m. our time, Heather. So like 7 p.m. Eastern. And I would go live for like an hour, 90 minutes, 2 hours sometimes. I would just stay as long as I could and just help people, help people, help people. And it's crazy to think how many people would come and hang out with me on Friday nights. But they loved it. The only reason I stopped doing it was that after a year, people stopped coming. Like they had become so reliant on me being there that they were just like, "Oh, I'll just go next time. I'll just go next time." And they just stopped seeing the value in me being live like that. And so I did like 2 or 3 in a row that no one came to. And then I was just like, "No, I'm not gonna do it anymore if people aren't gonna come." And like I'm allowed to be precious about my time and energy and what I'm willing to give. And I just thought, no, I don't have to keep doing this. I was doing this as a favor. And if people don't want it, that's fine. And it was fine. I know some people said that they were upset when I stopped doing it, but I was like, well, now's the time that you can just pay me. And so I really loved doing that. And I make offers to work with me. Like the absolute bare minimum that anyone should be making an offer to work with them is once a day. That is like bare bones on the ground. Like definitely not going above and beyond in any way, shape, or form. Once a day is like, I think twice a day should be the standard. But I love creating content, and like people always ask me like, oh, well, how did you grow your business so quickly? How did you grow your group so quickly? How did you? I show up multiple times a day. I solve people's problems every single day, all day. I stay top of mind to my ideal clients all day, every day. If they're going to think of who's the best person for content and marketing, it's me, because I am in their face all the time, reminding them that this is what I do, right? I don't want to be someone that someone's like, who's that girl? I see her sometimes. She's really good at marketing, but like I can't remember her. What? What do you mean can't remember? No, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let someone else slip in, because that's what happens. A lot of people out here prime their audience to hire someone else. What? A lot of people prime their audiences to hire someone else because they're giving all that value. They're not making near enough offers, and they're showing up less than somebody else. Well, guess what? Someone else is going to come in, say something very similar to what they've been saying, but keep making offers about it. And they're going to hire that other person on the back of what you did. All of the education, all of that value that you gave. And like, yeah, okay, there's something to be said about like, well, if it's not for me, then it wasn't meant for me. And I can't control who other people hire. My best people hire me. Yes, absolutely. But you have to give them an opportunity to. You have to give them an opportunity to, because if you do not consistently every single day give them an opportunity to, someone else will. And when they're finally ready to pull the trigger, that person that's also been showing up just as much as you, if not more than you, and making offers every single day, sometimes multiple times, they're going to be the ones that get the sale. They're going to get that client. It's painful as shit. Sometimes when I sell, my community people respond with, I get enough inspiration from you on your social media. I don't need more. So now that tells me, are you selling them on getting more inspiration when they hire you? I would say no, that's not what they're getting. I have a lot of questions about this. My mind is just running. When I sell, my community people respond with, I get enough inspiration from you. I don't need more. Ow. I hate that for you. That sounds terrible and stupid. I'm going to move my coffee closer. It is too far away. I would be really clear with what you're selling them. You're not selling them like inspiration. We're selling them solutions to their problems. And their problem is not that they need more inspiration. Their problem is that they want to be healthier. They want to get fit. They want to open their wardrobe and not look at a bunch of clothes that used to fit, that like pair of jeans, like pre-baby jeans that they were just like, man, these just hugged me in all the right places. And then I got pregnant and then I had kids and they don't fit, but someday they're going to fit again. I'm so determined to just fit into those jeans one more time. But then they close the closet door and they don't think about the jeans again. They only think about the jeans when the jeans are in their face. And then all of that, like someday is gone because they're not that motivated to fit into those jeans. It's not that important to them until it is. And so we're talking to them about that. Like I know you it's not just like weight loss, but like that is kind of the thing that I think of, because many of us grew up with moms who were traumatized by their size. And then we were traumatized by our size. Do you remember when everyone said Jessica Simpson was fat? What the hell was that? She was never fat. She was just way taller and bigger than Brittany and Christina. Her body was perfectly proportionate. She was just larger than them. She was just an upscaled version of them. But because she wasn't 5 feet tall and 90 pounds, she was fat. Rude. Our moms had Jenny Craig and like even Oprah. Oprah yo-yo dieted. They had Richard Simmons. They had like workout VHS. Weight Watchers. There's so much trauma around our moms that bled into us, and then our society, how they treated us and still treat us. BBLs, boob jobs, waist snatching. Like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's hard. But we're talking to these women, we're talking to these mothers who are missing out on living because they don't feel confident in their bodies. That's who you're talking about. These women who are missing out on living because they don't feel confident in their bodies. So what does that mean? We're going to get so specific because you girls know me. I love my super spy content. I love to get so specific and super tactile about it. We're saying things like, oh, your kids want to go to the pool and you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt and you won't even get in the water because you don't want people to look at you. Your kids want to go to the beach, same deal. You've got a cover up on. They're yelling, mommy, mommy, come play with us. Come splash with us in the water. And you're like, no, it's okay, baby, because you don't want people to look at you. You guys go have fun. Mommy's just going to sit here. What message are you sending yourself? What message are you sending your children when you say no to creating memories with them? Because you're afraid other people might look at you and be rude to you? No. You get invited to a wedding you don't want to go. You don't have anything to wear. You go shopping. You're squeezing your ass into dresses. You hate everything. You're sweating and you're pissed off. That was fun. Your husband's boss invites you over for a barbecue with all his little work colleagues. You don't want to go. You don't want people to look at you. You don't know what you're going to wear. What am I going to put on that's going to hide my body? You've been married to your husband for 10 plus years. All of a sudden, you only want to have sex with the lights off because you don't want him to see your body anymore. You don't want to get on top anymore. You just want him to get on top. Everything kind of floods to the sides. You look thinner. When you're on top, he can feel your belly. Your boobs are kind of lumpy or awkward. They're not perfect and high anymore. They're hanging down. So you don't get on top anymore. You're in the dark. Like, maybe you don't even want to have sex with him. And I know that's like really personal, but this is what's happening in people's real lives. There are people who are letting their bodies and their view of their bodies, not even their bodies, their view, their perception of their own bodies, hold them back from everything. I think of my own mom. I have almost no pictures of my mom because she refuses to be in pictures because she's too fat and ugly and no one wants to see her. What? That's awful, Mom. Get it together. I think of my mother-in-law. John and I have been married. In 4 days, we'll have been married for 12 years. We were together for a year and a half before that. For the 13 and a half years that I have known his mother, she has always said to me, anytime I see her in person, unless she is just coming home from work, anytime she video chats me, the first words out of her mouth are, "Don't look at me, I'm a wreck." And then she fiddles with her hair. For the last 13 and a half years, she has said, "I just need to lose 10 pounds. She's held herself back from a ton of things over this 10 pounds she thinks she needs to lose. How many of us are doing that? Lots of us. Lots of us. And so you're not selling them inspiration. You're selling them a completely different life and lifestyle. I hope that was helpful. I'm going to continue on. Should I purchase Meta Verified? Okay, so I canceled Meta Verified months ago on my Instagram because I was just like, why do I have this? It is not worth like $15 or $25 or whatever it is. I think the price recently went down, which is weird. It really doesn't do anything for your profile. What you're buying is an added level of security. So if someone tries to create a profile and pretend to be you, you have access, I believe, in a chat. I've never had this happen to me. But I saw someone talking about it and they said that they were able to get on chat with someone at Facebook to get that other account shut down, because lots of people have lost their Facebook accounts because they got hacked and then they lost everything. Huge communities, like tens of thousands of followers, everything. So all of that to say, number one, please grow a list somewhere in case Facebook or Instagram, if Facebook or Instagram, if Meta was just do you know what? We're done. Bye. which I know, very slim chance of happening. I mean, I have had Facebook. When did Facebook open in like 2006? I got my first account in 2008. I used my university email. Like you had to be invited. Like it's been a long time. We're coming up on 20 years of Facebook, right? Yeah. So like very slim chances that it's gonna just, we're done. However, if that did happen, what would happen to your business? Like, I'm not saying that you have to start emailing and you have to like pay for an email platform and like la la la. Like, that's just adding more shit to people's plates. I had an email list that I just never emailed, but I was like, I'm going to have these people over here just in case. And now I email all the time. One day I accidentally sent 3 emails in like a 1-hour window. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. They still opened them and loved it. So, like, big deal. Something I would like to share that I shared with my email list yesterday. As I was meeting with my team, we noticed like summer is different. And I know everyone's like, summer is different. So people aren't buying. That's not true. People are still buying in the summer, but people's buying habits are different. So if you're not getting I call it my B-mail list, because why would I call it an email list when I could just call it a B-mail? So my B-mail list, on Mondays, I send 60-second sales. And so it's like a little 3-part email, like telling you how to get more sales this week. We're talking about like having the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about like having like summer energy and summer vibe and like matching people's summer energy and vibe and like what that means for them. And so like I'm sharing way more about my kids and like I was like not online last week while I was away, and like people are like DMing me being like, I just love your summer energy right now. Like, yes, thank you. But people are still buying. Like someone recently just paid in full for the membership. I just onboarded a new one-on-one client. Like people are still buying. What my team reported to me yesterday was that my email open rates are doing, what way is this going to be for you guys? They're like low, and then they're like shooting up. And usually when I send an email within 24 to 48 hours, that email is opened, clicked through, whatever. Within the first 24 to 48 hours, my open rate is like abysmal. But then like day 3, 4, 5, it jumps. What does that tell you? That tells you that people are not opening their email every day anymore. Or if they are opening their email every day, they are just deleting shit that they don't want, which is what I do in the mornings. I delete all the shit that I don't want, and then I save the other stuff for when I have the capacity to sit there and read it. So they're either not opening their email every day, or they are opening their email every day and keeping my emails, which thank you, friends, and opening them when they have the time and capacity to actually open them and read them. Because they are getting open and they are getting read, just not within the first 24 to 48 hours anymore. It's like day 3, 4, 5. That makes sense. It's summer. People want to be on vacation. People want to be slower. People want to hang out. They want to barbecue and then hold hands with their partner and go for a little stroll with their dog, and like in the evening sun and the warmth, and wave at their neighbors and go to the beach and take the afternoon off on Friday because they can, or take Monday off and have a long weekend because they have vacation built up. Like the habits, the lifestyle of summer are completely different. And so we have to like really understand and match that when we're selling things and showing up and giving value. Like if you were like, hey, I'm going to sell this thing and it's 24 hours, okay. You might not get the results that you would get if it was September or October or December or January, because people are just online differently. Like I've had my notifications turned off for a full year now, which is amazing, on all of my social media. And my emails. I turned them off last summer when we went on vacation. And when I got back, I was like, I'm not turning this on again. Like the little bubbles, ADHD, girls. The little bubbles would give me so much anxiety that I would have to open to see what the notification was. The little bubble on my phone by the icon. I'd have to open it to see what was going on. I turned them off a year ago, never turned them back on. I almost deleted Facebook while I was away last week. I didn't, but I almost did. And I only showed up once a day or less. So all of that to say, oh my gosh, to answer your question about Meta Verified, you really only need it if you think someone's going to hack you. Like, I have 9,300 people on my personal page. Like I said earlier, 3,300 on my business, 4,300 in here, which that's a lot of 300s. But anyway, I would be very upset if someone tried to hack my account and got my account shut down on me. So I pay for it for that. But it doesn't do anything for visibility, credibility, growth, nothing like that. Jessie says, I'm here. Hey, girl, hey. She just said it a half an hour ago. Oh, no, she is still here. Okay. I have a question. What would you do to increase visibility since Facebook is going to hide more? Engagement. So I hope you heard me talking about how, like, I view the algorithm as a win-lose points game, where the more you are engaging with other humans, the more points you get, which means the more visibility you get. And when you post things like copy and like work with me type posts, especially if you're putting a link, the visibility goes on the ground. And so, like, increasing your visibility, oh, there's so many ways, okay? When I think back to when I first started, like, everyone was like, oh my goodness, you're everywhere. And I was like, I know. I was posting in my own group multiple times a day. I was posting on my profile a couple of times a day. I was going in other people's groups, which is way harder now because people have really locked down their groups to like monopolize and just like spotlights only on me. No one gets to talk. I don't like those groups. I leave those. But before they were like that, people would go into other groups like this one and ask questions. Hey, I'm a relationship coach and I am looking for help with like growing my group. And I would go in, I would not pitch. I would never pitch somebody. I would go in, listen to this, Jessie, 25 times a day. This is what I did 25 times a day. I had a little spreadsheet of my favorite groups that were very active with respect to community members asking questions. And I would go into those groups 3 to 4 times a day. And I would organize the posts because things like share your freebie threads or like post your offer threads would always monopolize and be at the top. So I would sort the group to most recent posts instead of like most activity. And I would go to all of the people that I had an opinion on their question. I didn't even always have to do about business. I would give my opinion on parenting, on miscarriage, on marriage, on manifestation. Well, I love manifestation and prayer. Like anything that I had an opinion on, I would give my 2 cents and try to help that person. I never pitched because usually you weren't allowed, but that was not my goal. My goal was to give insane value to someone who needed help. I would give them everything. They would get long-winded responses from me. That paid me immensely because people would see my comment. Sometimes the original poster wouldn't even respond to me, but other people in the comments would respond to me. And then we'd slide it over into the DMs if we felt we had to. But at the very least, they start stalking my profile and they'd come into this group because I was pushing this group more than anything. But the other thing with respect to the algorithm, when you do something like that, if you have friends in common in that group too, so if you have friends that are in the same group as you, if you respond to someone's post, like on someone's post in a comment, the algorithm will show your friends that are in that group in their feed when they're scrolling. your comment and that person's question. Doesn't matter if you were number 172 in the comments. The algorithm will go, this person asked this question in this group, and your comment will be visible in the feed. So that meant I was on people's feeds all day with my own posts and giving value to other people who needed help. Going live, going in your stories. I mean, it sounds like we're only talking about Facebook. So, like, the more you show up and engage with people, the more visibility you're able to get. So, this is why I always say, like, you got to be careful of that dopamine, because, like, I've seen people try to run their business and accidentally become like a meme account because memes get them the most engagement, or like rage baiting, or like super polarizing content, and people are only there for the mess. And so the engagement's like really high, million-person reach. Are you getting any sales? No, I didn't think so. Because no one wants to actually hire you. You're a mess. You're only posting messy stuff. Or you're only posting memes. I don't know what you do. I don't know how smart you are. I don't know what you're an expert in. Meme curation for sure. Or being messy, absolutely. But like, why am I paying you? I don't know. So like, we have to be so careful. Like, they got that dopamine of like, oh my goodness, it's working. People are engaging with me. You got to be careful. That's not to say you can't have fun though. Do have fun. Do post memes. Do post pictures of your kids and your cat and your dog and whatever. Like, that is how we increase our engagement and our visibility. But the more you show up and engage with other humans, remember, it's social media. So we have to be social in order for social media to work. And then like, have fun. Like, let people see you. Like I said, you're the personal brand. The brand is you. What's going on with you? What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you into right now? It doesn't have to just be business, business, business all the time. Let us see what's up. What are you planning? What are you excited about? Heather says, who do you add to this group? Female entrepreneurs. There's a couple of dudes in here. I started out female entrepreneurs. Then I started getting a lot of men. And some of them I was like, you look fine. And so a lot of men did end up coming in. And I was like, that's fine with me. It was fine with the women in the community. I ended up with like 5,600 people in here. And then like 2 years ago, I was like, do you know what? I don't want no boys allowed. So I kicked out like 1,000 dudes. And a couple of, well, not 1,000 dudes. I did kick out like as many men as I could find on my profile, or that was in here. It's really hard to scroll through that many people. And a lot of like inactive women, obviously. And now we're at 4,300. But I know for a fact that there are still a few random dudes in here. As long as they're not causing problems, I'm not going out of my way to find them. But if they show up and start causing problems, they will be booted. Entrepreneurs are nerds. Yes. Yes, we do not consistently give enough offers. Yes. Been giving enough value and not that. Making offers is giving value. It's the most valuable. I'm selling their personal investment. Say more. I do have a hard stop in 10 minutes because I do have to meet one of my clients. But I will get through these. It looks like I'm almost at the bottom. Morning, Tish. Yes, missing out on living because they don't feel confident in their bodies. I love it. Mindset so helpful. I wish that was all I needed to lose. I'm working on me. Gwen! Oh my goodness! Gwenny! Gwen, I think Gwenny did content camp, right? Girls, Gwen's amazing. Okay, yes, everybody is good. Everything is good. Tell me about manifestation from a Christian perspective. Ooh, I'd love to. Buckle up. Okay. There's new age spirituality. And I got swept up. I'm not going to lie. I got swept up a little bit. Some of the new age stuff when I was in my me and God are angry at each other phase after losing multiple babies. I was just like, do you know what? You clearly hate me. I freaking hate you too. So this is great. However, you know, I God's a good father, right? Like the prodigal son, that was me. I was like, peace out, and like flipping the bird, get away from me. But thankfully, God forgives. Um, when you think of manifestation as a practice, as an actual practice, it is casting a vision. So like setting a goal, seeing something in your mind, believing, so it's all about the mindset, believing that I am worthy, valuable, capable, able to have this thing, achieve this thing, and then taking action towards that thing. The Bible talks about it so many times. Okay, let me just bring up, oh shoot, no, I'm not gonna have it here. I need, because I always mess this up, is it? There we go. Mark 11:24, one of my favorite verses. I needed to make sure. Sometimes I'm like, is it Mark? Is it Matthew? Which of these boys is it? Mark 11:24. Very much paraphrasing, but Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John all say it. And then it's in a couple of other books also. But essentially it's saying whatever you believe in, like whatever you, let me just read it to you. What version is this? This is King James Version, not my favorite, but that's okay. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Whatever you ask for in prayer, and you believe that it is going to be yours, therefore it is yours. Well, that's manifestation. That's the same. Manifestation is just, like I said, you're seeing it in your mind. You're casting that vision out. You're going, oh, universe, I believe that I'm worthy of this. So, like, I want it. I'm going to manifest this into my reality, and then I'm going to take action towards making it happen. Well, the Bible's the exact same. Only instead of, I'm going to manifest this, I'm just going to pray for this because I know God's going to deliver. The only difference is one person is talking to the universe or source or whatever, and the other of us are talking to God. But both are the same. Like, I'm going to believe in this thing. Manifestation is prayer. They just don't talk about it that way. It's no different than, like, it's that constant, like, oh, again, we're saying universe instead of God, but we're going, oh my goodness, like, come on, universe. Like, I want $1 million, or yeah, $1 million. I want $1 million. I'm deserving of $1 million. I know you're going to give me $1 million. And it's just like that repeating of like, I'm going to have this. I'm going to have this. I believe that the universe wants to give me this. And then again, like, we have to take action. We can't just, like, it's like the person that's on the roof in the flood. You've probably heard that before. They're like, oh my goodness, God, please save me from this flood. And like, someone's like driving by and they're like, the flood's coming, come on. And they're like, no, it's okay. I asked God to help me. Like, okay. And then someone goes by in like a little rowboat and they're like, come on, get in my boat. The flood is getting bad. And they're like, no, it's okay. I asked God to save me. Like, okay. And then they go by and then like a helicopter comes by and they're on their roof. And he's like, hey, like, you're going to get stuck in this flood. And they're like, no, it's okay. I asked God. I asked God to save me. It's fine. And they're like, okay. And the helicopter flies away and the guy dies in the flood. And he gets to the gates of heaven and he's like, God, what the heck? I thought you were going to save me. He's like, I sent a car, a boat, and a helicopter to save you. What did you think I was going to do? Reach my hand through the clouds and just grab you? No, I sent you 3 opportunities to get saved, right? Like, we hear this all the time. It's funny. Like, we have to take the actions. We can't just lay there. We have to take the actions when we're praying. So from a Christian perspective, saying, this is the vision that I think that you have for me, God, or these are my desires. And when we get into the nitty gritty, desire comes from day and sire, which means of the Father. So anything that you desire, it's because God desires it for you. So when we're manifesting, we're really just praying to God that the desires that are on our heart are His will. We're believing that it's going to happen for us and God is going to deliver. And because of that prayer and because of that belief, it is done. We get it. We manifested it. We prayed for it and God delivered. It's the same. Yay, I love when we go to church for a minute. And that's why, like, when you really talk about desire, like, there are people who are like, I want to live on a ranch and ride horses. Like, that's my big desire. I have no desire for that. That's how I know that's not God's plan for me. That doesn't sound up my alley at all. There are people who are like, oh, my big desire is live in New York in a penthouse, la, la, la. I don't desire that either. Like, I shared a post last week and I was like, the whisper in your heart that came from God, that's your purpose. Not everybody got that whisper. You got that whisper because that is God's desire for you, which means nothing can stand against you, but you do have to keep praying fervently, showing up, and taking action. You have to keep moving. We cannot pick God's timing for us, but the desires of my heart and the desires of your heart and the desires of Tish and Gwen and Jesse and everybody else that's watching here, we all have completely different desires. Why? Because they're of the Father. That's what the Father wants us to have. It's what he desires for us. So that's why it's in our hearts. Everyone's is completely different. Yeah, Jesse says that we get burnt out. We do get burnt out. Do you know what? We get burnt out when we don't have a good strategy that fits us well. It's like that itchy sweater from our grandmother that we don't want to wear. We get burnt out because of, like, burnout stems from our minds and our minds being out of control. It's like never your body that burns out. Like, we can do so much with our body. Have you ever gone to like Disney? Like, hot damn, you can be on up 5 a.m. on your feet for like 13, 14, 15 hours. You go to bed, you get right back up the next day and you do it again. Like, the body never burns out. It's the mind that gets burnt out. And so we have to be so careful and so precious about what our minds are focused on, what our minds are doing, what pressures we're creating, the ways that we are spiraling, the ways we are caring for ourselves. That is where burnout comes from. It comes from like spiraling of not knowing what to do and thinking that we have to keep doing. That's where we get burnt out. You can get burnt out doing absolutely nothing. You can lay on your couch and scroll and be burnt out just because your mind went nuts. How do you advise someone to grow slow when they're trying to scale too fast? I mean, slow and sustainable is always the goal. People that scale, like I scaled fast. Like some people just can scale fast and some people can't scale fast. The big thing is like, do they have the processes? Growth and scaling is completely different. Oh my goodness, I wish we had so much more time. Growth and scaling are completely different, right? Like growth is like getting clients, figuring out what your offers are. Scaling is hiring a team, putting in SOPs, having tons of automations so that you can like step back and the machine is built. And people tend to think that scaling and growth are the same. They're completely different things. So like usually you grow to like 100 to 200K and then you scale to 1 million. They need to have so many processes in place that they probably don't even understand. So I would really I'd be so curious about what they even mean. Oh no, I have to go. Okay. Oh good. Okay. No, there's just like a couple more comments. I'm going to very quickly. Becca, I love you. I'm sorry. I'm going to be like 1 minute late. Oh, Gwen, do you know what? I just give everybody a nickname. So I love that you're here. Jesse says, I want to thank you for giving so much in an hour. Yeah, hey, I love you guys. I appreciate it. It was generous. It reminded me of what I was doing that was working and stop. Yeah, if you feel like things aren't working, think back to when things were working and go, well, what was I doing? What was working? Can I just do more of that? We tend to want to like experiment and change, and that's fun. Like, I love experimenting and changing. Once I figure out something is working, you better believe I'm gonna break it. Like, I want to go find something else that's gonna work. I don't like that stagnant predictability. It's just not my vibe. It's probably the ADHD. But like, you can always go back to what was working, right? Continue to engage, increase visibility, make offers daily. Yes, yes, amen. You're so divine with all your colors and everything you say. Thank you. They have the potential to grow. They want staff before they're ready. Well, then they can't afford staff. Right? If they want staff but they're not ready for it, that means they can't afford it. Like, they need to look at how much money they are willing to put out every month and commit to putting that out, because you can't hire people one month and then the next month be like, I can't afford you. Like, how much money do they have for staff? Sometimes people just like want to do things because they think it's like the cool and right thing to do, and it's not. Simple is better than complicated. Simple makes more money than complicated. I'm going to tell you right now, have one offer. For the rest of this year and like the foreseeable future, like, oh yeah, okay, content camp. That's an event. I have two offers. I have the membership, $2,500 for a whole year of getting this type of coaching with me, only we're in Zoom instead. For 90 minutes every single week, workbook, community, on-demand trainings about absolutely everything under the sun, or $250 a month, or one-on-one. Those are my two offers. Like, those are my bread and butter. That's all I want. That's all I need. You do not need a bunch of bells and whistles. That is how you get burnt out. That is how you get overwhelmed. That is how you get exhausted. Like, we're not doing that. Simple and sustainable is the way we build businesses. Simple and sustainable is the way we build businesses. Okay, very quickly, I'm so sorry. Okay, new one-on-one, 3 months, short, impactful, intensive, $19.97, 3 30-minute calls per week. I'm going to do 3 of those. And then also 6 months, 8,000 to 3 45-minute calls a month, Voxer access to the membership for a year, 8,000 or 1,667 a month. And I have 3 of those that I can do. Okay. DM me if you want to talk about it. No pressure. Absolutely no pressure. But if you want some one-on-one support, like, let's talk about it. If you want to join the membership, join the membership. Tomorrow is our next call, and you get access to AI Mastery as well. It's only $250 a month. Join us. I love you. Have an amazing rest of your day.